Well, a very good morning to you all. I hope we're all good. It's Saturday, it's the 15th of June 2024, and we're here to take a look at the long term patterns and trends for the next 10 to 14 days, specifically looking at Kent, but we will cover the entire country just to give us a bit of an holistic picture. Well, what we'll do is we'll start off where we usually do, taking a look at the central England temperature. And it's shocking. It's below average. There we go. Look at that. June, Central England temperature 11.9 to the 13th of the month. That's 2.2 degrees below the average. And I think we have to go way back to something like March of 2023. That's the last time we actually had a below average month. I'd need to check that. But yeah, quite noteworthy. And the reason for it is that we've had a lot of northwesterly breezes around. We've had quite a cool anomaly. And if we just take a look, even today, although temperatures have crept up a little bit in the last couple of days, it is still below average, with all of the real heat is really now penned down to the far southeast of Europe, round Cyprus, southern parts of Turkey, and down towards, as I've mentioned, Egypt and places like that. Northern Europe is distinctly chilly. And that is the situation today here in the UK. Current top of the hots, just 16 degrees at 61 degrees at Hull Beach. And there are in other stations, again in the south, all sitting around about 15 or 16 degrees. That's not the only story. It is unsettled as well. We've got low pressure on the scene now, a complex area of low pressure just sitting right across the country, with a plethora of fronts moving around the periphery of that low pressure. One such low pressure system rattling through at the moment is giving some quite gusty winds, 44 miles an hour, recently recorded on the Isle of Portland, 44 at Shoreham. So yeah, all down again in the south. I notice here at Langdon Bay, here in Kent, we've had 39 miles per hour recently. I think over the course of the next hour or two, those gusts may just get that little bit high before they all start to push out the way this afternoon. As I mentioned, this little occlusion here is bringing in enhanced wind and showers. And if we just take a look at the radar here for the southeast of England, this is at 10:50. A rash of showers across many parts of this part of the world. Some heavier showers just pushing in towards the Sussex-Kent border at the moment. And there's some heavier showers down towards Hampshire, Wiltshire, Gloucestershire, those sorts of areas. But I think as the day progresses, those showers will push further east. And this afternoon, I think we'll be starting to see more in the way of sunny skies. It is unsettled. So as we've seen, this is the facts chart today. We push it forward to tomorrow. The low pressure is still in control, but perhaps tomorrow not quite as wild and wet, just more of a sunshine showers scenario. Rather than the frontal stuff we've got today. And then by Monday, what we will find is the breezes do start to become lighter. Still, the risk of showers around, and even by Tuesday, an area of high pressure does start to try to build up, more particularly towards the north of the UK. But just to our south, just notice there is a front just sitting across the far northwest of mainland Europe, and that's the boundary between the relatively cool air we've got over us at the moment, some really quite warm and humid air over the rest of Europe. And I think as the week progresses, we're quite close to the boundary of this warm air, and it's just possible that we might start to import some of that warmth, but with it, we bring the risk of some perhaps heavy and possibly thundery showers. Something we picked up last week on the Sunday forecast, but all a long way off. And just, again, minor tweaks will make a difference. And even by Wednesday, there you go. UK generally devoid of fronts at the moment, but just here in the southeast, just close enough to perhaps be bringing in some of that potential rain and thunderiness from the near continent. We'll be tracking that over the course of the next few days, and no doubt we'll be picking up on that in more detail when we get to the forecasts. So what we'll now do is we'll just take a look at the ECM's take on things for the next, well, let's go for the next 10 days. Naturally, for the first 6, 7, 8 days, we get some fairly good confidence, but it does ebb away. So if we just start at the here and now, Saturday, just get my little cursor working. There we go. So you can see at the moment down across the southeast and many parts of southern Britain, you've got the wind and those showers. They will generally push out the way this afternoon. Brighter skies following along, but still the risk of a few showers. Push this through to tomorrow. Low pressure to the across the northeast of Scotland. We've got westerly breezes, lighter breezes tomorrow. Mixture of sunny skies and a few showers, but as I've mentioned, tomorrow will be a generally better day. By the time we reach Monday, we've still got low pressure just to the north of the UK. There's still a rash of showers developing, more especially across the north of the UK, but even on Monday, down here in the southeast, still the risk of one or two quite sharp showers. By Tuesday, what starts to happen is that low pressure that's sitting over towards by this stage, the southwest coast of Norway, that will start to fill. What will then happen is we just notice this ridge of high pressure down towards the far southwest of the screen. That will be pushing in on Tuesday and Wednesday. So, as we mentioned, pressure will become somewhat higher. Things will become drier and settle down a little bit warmer, but down towards continental Europe, just notice the rain is never too far away. There's easterly breezes, so that's something that we will be keeping an eye on because, as I mentioned, by midweek, this could be affecting us here in the far southeast. By Thursday, computer model simulation wants to keep the area of high pressure more towards the north, but just see how the area of low pressure over the near continent is starting to threaten on Thursday some quite heavy and potentially thundery rain. But this will be bringing in warmer and more humid air if it does so. By the time we get toward the end of the week, the low pressure is still sitting over the low countries. We're still bringing in rather a lot of cloud, possibly rain, possibly thundery showers, and still generally dry for the north. So not a bad week for those guys up there. Let's push that forward. I've lost the thread. Right, there we go. Next weekend, it's likely that low pressure will push out the way. And then we start to look back towards the Atlantic. Yes, the Atlantic, for the return of the westerlies. So I think by the time we reach next weekend, low pressure's back on the scene to the north of the UK. We're back in this run of westerly breezes, sunshine and showers, possibly heavy. But down here in the south, just a chance it would be close enough to this area of high pressure just to keep us a little bit drier at times and hopefully perhaps a little bit warmer. So what we'll now do is we just take a look at the longer term ensembles. We'll use Maidstone as we usually do. These are the 2 metre temperatures. Oh dear, it's just updated, so it's not going to give me the detail it was showing a few minutes ago. But yeah, suffice to say that there is a slight warming trend on offer over the course of the next few days. There is a trend for it to turn perhaps a little bit wetter again towards the middle part of next week before we get the return of the Atlantic weather next weekend. The rainfall spikes, not really helpful. I'm sorry, guys. I should have done this about half an hour ago. I had the full suite of ensembles for 2 weeks. So, yeah, the rain is in evidence for the next sort of couple of days in the form of showers. And then, yeah, towards the middle part of next week, there are more showers showing. So I think that's it in summary. Fair to say that, yeah, a fairly unsettled day today. Sunshine and showers for a few days. Middle part of next week, we do become potentially warmer, but with the risk of some thundery rain at times. And then by next weekend, back to sunshine and showers, potentially a little bit drier towards the end of next weekend, into the weekend after, with temperatures very, very slowly on the upward trend. I hope you've all found the forecast useful. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll be back soon. But in the meantime, ciao for now.